My name is Loretta Dorn, and I'm a nurse. I graduated with my associate degree in nursing here from CLC. As an ADN student, I was able to have a successful career well prepared with the education provided by CLC to start. Later, of course, I went on to get my bachelor's and master's degree. And in addition to that, I also had children that attended here. My disabled daughter attended as well. I had to petition administration to let her attend to get her certificate in early childhood education. I think it's really important that people are able to access community college regardless of their ability to either pay, we want to make sure we get them in, but also their ability to attend classes regardless of their disability. I have not ever run for any office before. This is the first time I've ever run, but I wanted to put my name on the ballot, not because to have my name on there, but because I wanted to be part of CLC, and I love CLC. Today, I currently work for the Lake County Health Department, managing a very large budget that consists of tax money, grants, and revenue from patients. I oversee all the primary care, addiction, treatment, and behavioral health. And I know, based on the work that we have done as a public health entity, that education is a means to community sustainability. It brings employers and jobs. It creates a healthier community. Education must be our priority as an education. In fact, studies show that for every dollar we invest in community college, the nation gets back $6.80. As a trustee, I represent students trying to manage multiple priorities, a parent trying to find an economical solution to put children through college, and as a trustee, I'm here to represent all of you to make sure we continue to provide quality education at an affordable cost. Every single one of those locations is extremely important so that everybody has the opportunity to get somewhere within close to their own community. Transportation getting to this site is extremely important. In addition, we know that having these colleges in different areas means that the people in that area that are most in the need of getting the education have a place to go. It's important that we actually support all three of them with the new programs that they have. But to the point that three campuses do service a different population, we need to understand what that population is and make the quality education that those campuses need for each one of the students that are equal as well. So it is important that we maintain all three campuses and that we provide the same quality education for what the community needs and look to the community to help with those different programs. We feed the community. We keep the community alive. We keep the students in the community, bring jobs to this area as well because we have the students that are educated. So we need to continue to provide the community those types of students that do have the education to bring work into the area. Diversity is extremely important. And it's important that the faculty, the students, the board also have a sense of diversity and being able to contribute. I think in addition to some of the other things we've discussed, having those students as well, like my daughter, for example, that were developmentally disabled, being able to go to school as well. So those students also represent part of the diverse population. Making sure that students are able to celebrate their own diversity here, making sure that we offer classes and celebrate that diversity, and make sure that we are able to provide education that is also culturally appropriate for them, and being able to bring those students in a place where they can achieve and be successful as well is very important. I think one of the huge advantages we have is having the University Center, being able to partner with students that go to CLC that are able to go on to finish their education. There are many students that come from the community that are not necessarily ready for a four-year university, and so CLC is a good opportunity for them to be able to get that basic education, get all those credits, and then be able to partner up with University Center to be able to go on to get their four-year degree. And I know I think there's even 4 colleges now where there's direct transfer credits from CLC. Right now we need to continue to expand those. That's extremely, extremely important for the community. My own son went to for 2 years and then went on to NIU also to get his 4-year degree. But it's one of the big positives we have, one of the things that we need to keep working on, and one of the partnerships we need to really continue to work with, because we need to get those students from their 2-year degree, if that's where they're not stopping, to their 4-year degree. And in today's community, while it's very important to have those technical degrees, in fact, I read this study that said 2-year degree, people coming out of their 2-year degree get 30% more salary initially coming out of a 2-year program than 4-year degree students. However, that catches up later. And it's very important that we continue to partner to make sure that those students go on to get their 4-year degree if they need to, if they want to, and so they see the possibility of getting that 4-year degree as well. One of the things I think is really important is to be able to give the College of Lake County students an opportunity to see what's going to happen once they're out in the community, once they have a job, where they can find jobs and work with them. One of the things that I do in my current role as at the Lake County Health Department is have students in all the time, rotating through our different programs, having them in an open forum to say, you know, here's some job opportunities, here's some things we can do to work together, and having them rotate through as well gives them a sense of what they can do to give back to the community as well. So as I've been hosting those students, putting together programs, I've been ensuring that the students that are attending CLC understand what they can do to help their community as well. And so in addition, I also taught a couple classes here for the different nursing student programs, did some also community events here, and I'm part of many of the different community events that also convene here that include CLC as well. I think you're probably going to hear the same theme from a lot of us, but the state budget crisis is obviously a huge issue, right? And it's not just the fact that we don't have a budget, but it's the fact that even our own tax base, year after year, we're having to look at it, decrease it by, like this year, 2.5%, right? If we start to continue to decrease it, we need to start to really understand where we're going with this different programming. I know in my job, working for the health department as a clinical operations director, we're also restricted by state budget issues, and every day we have to discuss what if. Right? We always have to look at what if and have that plan available and understand what we'll do. I know there's been, because of the state budget issues, there's been many organizations that have had to shut down essential services, but I know the Lake County College has been able to continue on, as well as our health department. But again, this may not always be the case if the current crisis continues, but we have to really be able to plan for that impact, know what's going to happen, and have that risk mitigation process in place. Besides marketing and looking at what are the things that we can have our community do in terms of if we're giving back to the business leaders in the community and the large businesses that are in this area, like Baxter, like some of the other groups, what can they do to help contribute to that education that will be able to fund or be able to support their own businesses? We need to make sure we look at key programming too as well in the college to make sure that we are providing a quality education, understanding what are the key programming, what is our strategic goals, and where do we need to look at either combining efforts, programs, classes, whatever it is that we need to do in this state budget crisis. But it's important that we continue to provide quality education across the board, but understand the impact that budget is having within our neighborhoods. What's important is the board truly is representative of this community college. We should be out there in the community talking to public schools, talking to the community, talking about how it's possible to go and get an education at CLC. I think a lot of times people don't always think it's even possible. Oh, I don't have the money, or I don't have a way to get there, or my parents didn't go, or maybe it's not what I'm thinking is good for me. And so I think as a representative of the board, we need to be out in the community talking about what's possible, talking about getting an education, being able to bring people in and be able to work with them to get an education. I think a lot of times students don't necessarily see a way to college. And so we really need to broaden that message and get that out into the schools. It's important that we're out there into the areas in the community that people don't even think about it. Like, for example, North Chicago schools, the Waukegan schools, etc. Get out there and talk about, yes, you can do it. You can get to college, and you can get that education, and you do have the ability. And then once they get here, to be able to support them in programs to get them through some of that remedial reading issue, to get through some of the math classes so that they can go on to get their degree. And it may take them 4 years. It may take them a little bit longer to get through CLC, but they can do it, and we need to get that message out. CLC is an important part of our community. It's an important part of the sustainability of our community as well. In fact, a lot of the work that we've done in the health department showed that from neighborhood to neighborhood, town to town, there's as much as a 20-year difference in lifespan based on the economic and the educational conditions of where people live. I think it's important as a college that we reach everywhere in Lake County, that we also increase our enrollment, that we continue to increase our enrollment by doing a lot of reach out to the community and provide the right kinds of education that will actually provide jobs out in the community. And I think it's important that we also look toward the future and make sure that as a trustee we have a 5-year vision, right? We know that colleges are going more technology driven. We know that online classes are becoming more familiar. We know that there's a lot of other mediums to be able to accomplish education, and we need to be able to be there in that curve. Otherwise, we're going to be behind the 8 ball in the next 5 years. As a trustee, I want to be able to represent students, I want to be able to represent parents, and I want to be able to represent faculty on their voice on the Board of Trustees to ensure that we make sure that we are sustainable for the next 5 years and be able to provide the educational needs and the job needs back to the community.